Hey, Howard here at 82 Maple, and we're hitting the road again. We just spent an evening with a couple of wonderful friends, and we've got our little tow vehicle on behind us. And you know what? If you're held captive to your parking spot because you don't have a tow vehicle and are concerned about the complexity, the process, the issues involved with that, don't wait another minute. This video, sorry, looking over my shoulder for traffic. This video is for you, easy for me to say. Hey, Howard here at 82 Maple. And the theme for our video today is hooking up our little tow vehicle. So previously we had a little Chevy Colorado, and it was time for it to take a time out, and so we chose the trail-rated Trailhawk. So we have a Demco Dominator tow arrangement here. I'm not going to go through a bunch of details on that. It's pretty simple, it's pretty straightforward, has everything you would expect. You've got to get the correct tow bars connections on the vehicle. This all folds under here. As we come and go from the camper during our travels, we can flip down the steps. I love this little Arctic Fox step arrangement here. It allows us a back door. We had a prior camper that had an inside step with a door around here. Took up a lot of room. This is very, very efficient. Why two steps? Well, if we pull into that filling station and are at this sort of an angle, then this step is easy to use. If we were angled the other way, we can come and go from this step. Flips up out of the way. We have a 4-foot truss suspension bar. I have other videos on that. I'll provide the links down below. But the hookup is fairly straightforward. We hook up the tow bars, we hook up the cable, we mark the ends. The orange end goes into the Jeep, the red end goes into the truck. That controls the brakes. If you're wondering how the brake system on this works, when we activate the tail lights, let me back up. Activating the brakes, of course, activates the tail lights. When the tail lights activate, there's a signal goes through to a brake assembly inside, and that's what we're going to talk about in a minute. Here's our emergency brake should there be a problem with the hitch and something come loose. We pull the emergency, and this vehicle is going to, the towed vehicle is going to come to a safe stop. There we have it. Now the fun part. Let's go inside. So, we're going to talk about this, the brake assembly, in just a minute. But first, we'll talk about how we get the vehicle into neutral. I'm going to stay out of the way so that Coral can get a clear shot here at the console. I'm going to go around the other side so I can point out a couple of things. Okay, if you're buying the Jeep Cherokee, this is the option you're looking for. This little neutral button right here. And you keep something like this handy so you can activate it. I'm not going to take 5 minutes and go through all of the steps. What I'm going to do is give you a link or an ability to download our little instruction sheet. If this looks like I didn't print it, you would be correct. But what I did do was copied the appropriate sections out of the owner's manual. It's really straightforward. Don't be intimidated by the fact that there is all of 19 steps in this process. They're very straightforward. It's an absolute fail-safe process. And then there are, what do we have here? 16 easy steps starting here, going down here and up over here to put the vehicle back into independent operational mode. Again, not daunting. They're just very specific, very fail-safe. Pretend for a moment you've got your private pilot's license, and there are some very specific steps to keep you and your mode of transportation very, very safe. Okay, enough about that, and if you have questions, put them down below. But this is where one has to exercise a bit of judgment. So, you know what, Coral? I'll get you to go around the other side and video from there. All right, so I place this little unit on the floor. I reach down in here, there's a little release button, I flip this up. Super important, it's not gonna operate without that. Then I have this little device down here that clips around the brake pedal, and one of my sons seen me doing this one day and said, wow, that's a little Mickey Mouse. And you know what? He was right. This goes down here, this goes around the downward component that holds the actual brake pedal, and this is supposed to clip around that and not slide off. I don't trust it, and I'll show you what I do about it. In any event, I put that there, and I'm sure it would be fine, but I've got a little bungee strap here, and I just wrap this around it to give it a little extra support, looping that up through there so it's going to stay. I cross it over, and I bring it around, and I pop it through there, nice and easy. There, okay. So I'm feeling a little more confident in that, but you know, I'm a fan of good design, and I don't think that's a particularly good design. Now I have this little umbilical cord here that I have to connect into the wiring in the dash. Jeep has this nice little tray there. I plug this in, and now we're gonna watch the control panel down here. So it's airing up. This is gonna take a minute. Airing up, airing up. It takes a while. All right. This red light is still on though, indicating we need to bleed the brakes. So here's how we do that. We hit the auto start, and it's gonna go through a little bleed cycle. I think it's 5 pumps. Okay. So this is the Brake Buddy Select 2 model. Coral's catching some footage of that upside down, that's okay. And we have a green light and we're ready to go. Everything's fine, it's in the proportional braking mode. I can change that with a remote from the cab of the truck. What I don't like is that movement that you've seen back and forth, and there's really no way to cure that. Previously, I had kind of had a little janky setup where I put a block of wood behind it so it stayed firm. Really doesn't make any difference. It just adds to the complexity of the entire exercise. Now, I'm going to show you one last thing for the adjustment, because you don't want the travel on this arm to be any more than it needs to be. So Coral's going to zoom in on the tail lights of the truck up there. Okay, and now you're gonna see something interesting happen without me activating the brakes. Okay, the brakes are on. This towed vehicle unit, how did I do that? Well, Coral's gonna come over here now, and if you could see me, I'm working the seat control and I had simply moved the seat forward. So what we do, and it's hard to capture this without using two cameras, I'm moving the seat forward now, which means I've got this little brake buddy in too close. It rests obviously against the seat. Now I take it back, and I take it back to where the brake lights on the rear of the truck come off, and I just put it back about another 1/4 of an inch. So that minimizes the travel down here, and that means I have more responsive braking. Less travel means that when those brake lights are activated on the truck, this is activated and there's less travel, therefore more responsiveness for the braking on this unit. There you have it. I hope I haven't opened up way more questions than I've answered. I hope I've not layered on extra complexity or a level of complexity that would discourage you from towing a vehicle. The upsides are so terrific. There's so many places in national parks and otherwise that we can't go with our RV. We unhitch this vehicle and we have total independence. We love it. And we have our little process down. We hope that our little process makes your journey better and easier. Take care and visit again soon. Okay, one last thing. So Coral and I go through a light check. She's now turned on the signals. You can see them on the truck. We have them back here. And now we're gonna try the other side. There we go. And yeah, she just hit the brake lights. Okay, hit the brake lights one more time. There we go. You've seen them come on. Now, we always double check because it's easy to miss a step. Hey, we're only human after all. So Coral's going to pull ahead a few feet. We've got to miss a tree branch up there. But I'm going to focus and we're going to make sure that these wheels roll easily and that the steering also responds as Coral pulls out. There's no traffic on this road, so she's going to actually just pull right out. Now watch, it rolled easily, and now there you have it. Did you notice? The wheels went from turning right to turning left. Now they're turning right again. So all is good. We're ready to hit the road. That's a little process that we go through before we pull out. And not just before we pull out first thing in the morning. We also check it before we pull out of that Cabela's parking lot or whatever. And it's just peace of mind. There you have it.